I call the honourable member for Longman.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And
there will be silence.
Thanks very much, Madam Speaker. And my question is to the Minister for Social Services. Will the Minister inform the House?
The member will resume his seat. We will have silence to hear the question for the member for Longman.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and my question is to the Minister for Social Services. Will the Minister inform the House of the importance of being able to achieve savings in social services in order to fund changes to welfare and childcare that will support Australian families?
I call the Honourable Minister for Social Services.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member for his question and for the great job he does in chairing the Social Services Committee for the government members who take a keen interest in all of these matters. He knows, like all members on this side know, and I would hope all members on the other side know, that it takes 8 out of 10 income taxpayers going to work every single day to pay for our $150 billion social services welfare bill. 8 out of 10 Australians are going to work every day to pay that bill, and they need to get value for that spend, and they want to make sure that it's going to the people who need it most, Madam Speaker. This includes the approximately $7 billion that we currently spend on childcare assistance, where the taxpayer currently picks up two-thirds of the bill, that is paid for childcare services in this country. Now, childcare expenditure, Madam Speaker, is rising at a rate of 6.7% per year, and that's expected to continue with no changes. If we would not touch the system currently, that's what it would increase at over the next 10 years. And this is not including the changes that have been put forward by the Productivity Commission, which have recommended a simpler, more targeted and fairer system that helps families stay in work and get in work when they have children. It doesn't include that, and the cost of that, Madam Speaker, is in excess of the budget and forward estimates as currently laid out by the government, Madam Speaker. It also doesn't include funding for the universal access regime, which is looked after by my colleague, the Minister for Education and Training, which has cost the government some $400 million. Now, Madam Speaker, if we're going to be able to fund improvements in these areas, we do need to come to an agreement, and I acknowledge the Shadow Minister in this area for working with the government and speaking about these issues, about the composition of potential packages. But as we both know, the hard work that is necessary in getting agreement on these matters is we have to agree on how they're funded. And we need to be upfront with each other about how much these things cost and what is funded. And, Madam Speaker, there has been commentary lately on the cost of universal access and whether it will be continued to be funded beyond 30th of June this year, which this government has funded. But we should note, Madam Speaker, also that the universal access funding was not provided for under the previous government in their last budget, in their 2013-14 budget. Because if I go to the figures, Madam Speaker, in 2015-16, the allocation for universal access in that last budget was zero. And in 16-17, it was zero. Madam Speaker, it was zero. So we have to work together. We have to work together on the solutions, but we have to work together on the funding, and we need to be honest about what these funding challenges are. And if we can do that, Madam Speaker, I think we can do some good things for Australian families. But we've got to be upfront about it, what it costs, and we can't just go on shovelling money out the door.
I call the honourable